the very well-renowned filmmaker, Mr. Mike Pandey, who needs no introduction because he has made a number of films, a series of films that have even changed legislation, laws, not only in India but outside India as well. He's also a 3-time recipient of the Green Oscars, and he's a very popular face on Doordarshan. Next to him and to my immediate right is Mr. Krishnamurthy, who's a senior civil servant, IAS officer with the Goa government. And Mr. Krishnamurthy has been associated with the festival in 2004, and he's come back with this edition of the festival, and he has been able to give us tremendous support and the required dynamism that makes things happen and move things wherever they don't move. So from the inside point of view, I can authentically say that he's been a very dynamic force within the system for making things happen wherever there would be a blockade or a possible blockade. And since he's been associated since 2004, he's not new to the festival. To my immediate left is Dnyanesh, your own filmmaker from Goa. He has this very popular film in the Indian panorama that was selected. The only Konkani film that has happened this year. We have had Konkani films earlier also, but this year we have him with us, and even at the third screening today, I was just discussing with Dnyanesh and he said that it's going houseful. So it reflects a kind of culture that this festival has been able to develop. I'll request Mr. Armando to kindly say a few words.
Thank you, Shankar, and congratulations for the great job that you've been doing. I would not like to go into any detail of films which are being made and how they are being made. I would like to talk of Goa as an idea. Goa is a big idea. It's a big idea not only in India, it's a global phenomenon, it's a global name. When the first film festival came about in 2004, I was quite surprised that we didn't have a music festival before that, because Goa is so full of music and it's a land of music. But I have been actually surprised with what has come out of the films. And today, as Goa is getting more and more into the limelight, I really believe that the films can take this idea of Goa internationally. Goa is a microcosm for change in this country as well. As you can see by so many things that have happened, whether it's election results 2012, whether it is historic situations like the opinion poll of 1967. I really wonder if many people know that the 1967 opinion poll is the only referendum in India. Did you know that? Yes. Now, are stories being made on this? Or are we just talking of Bollywood movies, for that matter, which are made of people dancing? And a lot of times Goan people are misrepresented and mispositioned in the movies. We are extremely lucky that Bollywood considers Goa so important in their scheme of things. But why not make better and bigger movies out of Goa? Exactly what Dnyanesh has been saying. I would like to make a point of the movies done by Mel Gibson on Passion of Christ, Apocalypto. They've been done in, was it Hebrew? Passion of Christ was in Hebrew? No, it was subtitles. Yes, subtitles were English. Why can't we create Konkani movies of that level? Why can't we take this God-given, what we have been given as natural beauty, the type of people, the spirit of Goa, to another level, and take Konkani to the world as well? That would be the way I would look at it for films, how IFFI can associate with Goa. A real marriage, which is really made in heaven, and that would throw about many, many more possibilities for all of us around. There are lots of other things I could talk about how Goa is special, and very specifically like the opinion poll. We're talking of communal harmony. We're talking of so many things. We're talking of today what's happening in the mining industry, where our Goa CM is actually virtually the first green CM of this country. We must give him a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. He has had the guts to do that. So we can create environmental movies, we can create documentaries, we can create a new paradigm for the rest of the country. So that's where I would base my discussion here, and I'll pass on the mic. Thank you so much.
First and foremost, what comes to my mind is that we really need to seriously have a film culture developed over here. I think Goans are music lovers, they are art lovers, they are theatre lovers, literature lovers, I know, but I really don't know how many of them are really movie buffs over here, you know. Considering we don't have too many movie buffs over here. So I think seriously that is something which I think we should look into, is to develop a culture of movies, create a movie culture over here. And for doing that, I think, like it was said, throughout the year, one could have workshops on different things, on script writing, how to make documentaries, how to make short films. Also, you could be continuously keep showing some movies also, you know, I'm not saying about movies which are going to be shown in IFFI, but any movies, any short films, international films, so that, you know, people are, you know, they get accustomed to seeing these kind of movies and they don't just see it once a year when it happens here only for 10 days. Throughout the year, show some films. And maybe after, I know you have copyright issues and all that, but if you can take post IFFI, if you can take some movies around also, you know, into Margao and Vasco and Ponda and all those other places where people have not been able to come and see. That also probably would help. Also, another thing is, I think you should have, consider now looking at the logistic part of it. I think I actually talked to a lot of people before coming here, especially in my centers, and tell me what do you have to say about IFFI and what are the problems that as a common person you face. So the kind of reaction I got was that let's have more windows for passes, for delegating passes, and for festival kits, because somebody in Margao has to come all the way over here to Panjim to collect the delegate, to first of all to register and then to come and collect the pass and the delegate kit. Why not have some kind of windows in other cities as well, you know, where you can give these passes and issue out passes and delegate kit bags, so that more and more people can come and attend this. That's one. And I feel that maybe, I think we should involve, like there should be some more Goan movies, you know, there should be, instead of just one, maybe have some short films, more Goan short films on Goa, and try and sort of build up on this culture of Goa and develop a culture of movies. That's what I feel that we could do. Thank you.
You're on air, Mike.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Krishnamurthy and his team, Shankar Mohan and his team, and the Goan government and the central government for a really great IFFI this year. It's been very successful. There are great changes that I've seen, including the open forum and the effort that has been put in. It has grown in size. There were many more delegates and people here. And I was very happy to hear on the first day at this platform, Mr. Wag saying that they were toying with the idea of a film city in Goa or on the outskirts of Goa. I think that's a very positive thought. It may be in its early stages, but at this moment, where there is a need for synergy, for collaborative efforts, IDPA, which is a 56-year-old organization, is willing to hold workshops here. Also, since I'm involved with feature films also, and have been for a long time, we have no problems mentoring Goan filmmakers so they get the exposure that is required to make meaningful films that are worthy of exhibition. And for that, we need a support from the government, and we are ready to work just like with the central government. IDPA is a public-private partner, and we get a lot of support from them that can extend to Goa and the film culture here, and we can help develop. And maybe with the National Center, International Center, we can have a collaborative effort and keep showcasing award-winning films so that there's exposure, there's a cross-section of exposure. Just like what we are doing with the rest of the country at universities, we could do that here. So the material is there. We need the will and the intention and the synergy. Let's come together, because I look at India as one country, the film industry all over. We all in different states make films. The only difference is they're in different languages. Dub them in your own language so you can connect. So that'll bring the country together, and there'll be a lot of exchange. And films are tools of change, agents of change. And it's very important for the Goan community here to be exposed to such films as well. I'll leave it open to Mr. Krishnamurthy now, and he'll say his words. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all of you. It's the 9th edition of IFFI in Goa, so it's been a long journey. As Shankar was mentioning, I was here when the first festival was held in Goa in 2004. I don't know how many of you are aware, this inox building, which is standing right next to us, is a government-owned building. I don't think there is any other facility like this which is owned by a government. And this was built in a flat 6 months period from scratch. So it takes me back to those days when Goa was declared as the venue for the International Film Festival with an intention to make it as a permanent venue. Goa didn't have any infrastructure except Goa as a brand. It was a great challenge for us to build the necessary infrastructure at that point of time, because the theatres that were existing are still in bad shape, many of them. So they were not worth being declared as screening theatres for the festival. So this place where an old office complex was existing, it's an old GMC complex it's called. This was raised to the ground from scratch. This inox has come up in a flat 6 months period to be just ready for the festival. And there's a whole lot of development that has taken place along the Cornish area, promenade, etc. And immediately after the festival, I think end of November 2004, I left Goa, and in between 7 festivals have taken place. And I am back in Goa in July this year with a mandate by the CM that you come back to Goa, we need to organize the festival. So I am back, and I am happy to see that this festival has moved on. I think the number of registrations, the delegates, has each passing year it's only increasing. There was a talk about the film culture in Goa. Yes, indeed, it was one of the criticisms when Goa was declared as a permanent venue. Why Goa? Goa has no film culture. Goa doesn't have any film industry. But today, I'm very happy to see that so many films are being made in Goa. In fact, as a film destination, if you look at it over the years, the number of shootings that are taking place in Goa has gone up phenomenally. The theatres have come, of course, inox is there, but apart from that, the other theatres also have renovated. There are a couple of theatres that have come up in Madgaon. The number of people watching the films have gone up. As my colleague was saying, the culture, the theatre and art culture has sort of reinvented itself, and it's percolated into film culture. And the kind of demand that is there on us government from local population, one of the reasons why we had to go for a air-conditioned hangar for the opening festival. This is the first time such a thing has happened. We've been having it in Kala Academy except last year in Ravindra Bhavan. The sitting capacity been limited. There was such a huge demand for people. We want to be part of the opening ceremony. We want to be part of the festivals. That's the reason we had to go for a almost 3,500 capacity hangar, which was again a challenge this year. In the 2004 we had the challenge of inox. In this year we had the challenge of this hangar being created for about 3,500 audience. It never happened in Goa. We never had an experience of such a facility being created. But fortunately it turned out to be very good, and it was a great opening ceremony we had. So the future ahead, of course there are some issues raised by colleagues here regarding the facilities for Goan filmmakers. I think we already have a scheme for financing the Goan filmmakers for producing Konkani and Marathi films. We are having a relook at that. In fact, that's under now revision. We hope that we will try and meet the aspirations of the Goan filmmakers. There is also a single window clearance facility for film shooting in Goa by the ESG. That's the reason we have many producers, directors coming to Goa to shoot their films. And then there's a talk about round the year activities. I think it's a good idea. We would be looking at that. There are various other festivals. For example, short film festivals, which was used to be part of the IFFI till last year, has been dealing this year. So we were looking at having it as a separate festival altogether. There could be other language festivals could be held, there could be workshops, there could be seminars. These are the activities we are looking at because the kind of facilities that are created should be used round the year, otherwise there is no point in creating such facilities. Another announcement that the Chief Minister has already made is that we would be constructing a festival complex with a festival theatre accommodating about 2,500 to 3,000 people somewhere in the vicinity of Pandey, which will be a festival complex where the festival will take place in an integrated way where all film, bazaar, etc., all these activities will be located. I suppose that in 2 years' time, if I'm not wrong, by 2014, if everything goes well, we should have a festival complex ready for the IFFI 2014. Well, as I said, that it's been a great journey, long journey for us. I believe that we have moved on. We have done much better than what we did over the last few years. Every year it's been a different experience. And as you will be aware that this is a joint effort by the Government of India and the Government of Goa, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, which Shankar Mohan represents. They are the control the software part of it, the films, etc., and all that. And over the years, of course, there have been some ups and downs, but the relationship has only strengthened. We understand each other better. There's give and take. But as we go along, I guess there will be more flexibility in sort of decision-making process. So that it's in our interest, everybody's interest, in country's interest that a brand name like IFFI is lifted up, it goes up, it can't stay where it is or where it's been. It needs to go up. It needs to go up onto the standards of Cannes Film Festival or all other international festivals. We have the cinema. India is the country which produces the maximum number of films. If you look at the number of audience, nobody can beat India. With all this, we can only go forward, we can only go up there. So I hope and look forward for the festival reaching on top along with all the other international film festivals. Thank you very much.
I think I'm least experienced person here sitting among you. And I'll speak briefly about what I have to say. As you mentioned, Digant is the only film. Digant is not only the only film which is being screened here. It is only film which made this year in Goa. So how many films do we make? 1 or 2 every year. So why is it so? It's a vicious circle. We have a very limited population, Konkani speaking population. Then the turnout to theatre is very less. And it incurs very less amount on box office. So, and it also affects, as it becomes a vicious circle. It affects production value of Goan film, any film which is made here. So we have getting financial support from government, but we don't get any education related to filmmaking, and that's what we lack here. So just giving money is not enough. That's what I think. So there is the agency like ESG, but our expectation are also from DFF, sir, that you should, as you are having this festival every year and Goa has now become a permanent base for IFFI, we expect from you all that conduct a consistent various workshops related to films, so we can take advantage of it and come out with some good productions. At least we will know, like, okay, these are the criteria of good films. But that's not happening here. And of course, there is infrastructure. There is a small industry which exists here, home video. I myself I have background of home video I come from that background, and almost 25 to 30 films are made in that on video, in that format. But when it comes to a big film, nobody wants to take risk, and nobody supports such big productions. So that is a tragedy of our industry, home video industry. So I think you also should give proper attention to this industry, as we have some kind of basic infrastructure in that. So this is the 8th year of IFFI, and I'm sorry, 9th. And first year, I remember we had some short film making competition 24/7. Even next 2 years, we organized, Vincent Graphic organized competition. Later also, there were some short film making competitions were held here. Now they are stopped. There may be some reason, technical reasons, I don't know what are the reasons. But such activities should not stop, because these are the activities which promote filmmakers from Goa, and they create something, and they are very happy to present it in front of audience like this. So you should come out with some kind of solution to this problem, and these activities should start again. Okay, I thought I'm called here to represent Goan filmmakers as such, and then I had various other problems also which I had noted down. But then I think I should better take these problems to our government, state government, or ESG, local agency. Now speaking on this platform won't be a proper here. So I think I have made my point at certain level. I really don't know. So with this, I'll conclude whatever I want to say. So.
Thank you, Dnyanesh. You're a very passionate filmmaker, and your voice is sounding definitely. So it will be heard and noted at various forums. Don't worry about it.
For PM, and for Mike Pandey's benefit, MP is not Mike Pandey, but Parrikar. I'm just wondering, I know it's a controversial idea, but when you talked about Parrikar is no longer a Goan chief minister, he's India's first green chief minister. Why cannot he become India's first green prime minister?
This is not related to it.
I remember the time when I first thought of this idea of Parrikar being the Prime Minister of India in 2008. And at that point of time, I will make this as a public, he's a very dear friend of mine today. At that point of time, I was actually on the opposite camp. But the whole idea was, if Obama could become the President of America with just 14% black population with him, why would 2 MPs of Goa be any impediment? It's about thought. And considering the type of a leader that he is, you can see that, the type of revolution that we have got for election 2012, why not pitchfork him for Prime Ministership? And that's how that slogan came up, MP for PM. And surprisingly, a lot of the national press has picked it up now, and it is part and parcel of what people speak. Yes, I mean, I'm all for that. Did I answer your question?